Dr. Jake, what are you doing in a pool? I thought
What
we were
are
supposed to be looking at that bean field.
what are you doing? I'm trying to stay cool, Katie.
Yeah, I know it's super hot out here, but I'm Katie Hess, Director of Sales and Marketing, and
I'm Dr. Jake, Director of Research and Agronomy here at Liqui-Grow.
he's gonna go get dressed so we can go look at a field. Jake, thanks for getting out of the pool long enough to join me in this field so we can tell the folks at home why this hot climate we're going through right now could or could not affect our crop and how much it's going to affect our crop.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hurry up, Katie. I got sweat rolling down my back right now.
Now, Jake, the old farm kid in me would say, it ain't a bad day to be on the rack because there's a breeze.
There is a breeze.
You wouldn't want to be in the mow on a day like today.
No, you would not.
All right, so we're in soybeans. Let's start with soybeans.
Yeah, so the common question, as you can imagine, I've been getting over the last few days is, are these hot temperatures going to reduce corn and soybean yields? And the short answer is, yeah, it is, okay? But let's unpack why that is real quick, and then we'll come back with maybe how much.
Let's talk soybeans first. We're in the soybean field.
So the question I've been getting over the last several days is, are these hot temperatures going to reduce soybean yields? And the answer is, yeah, they are.
Well, how bad is it going to be?
Probably not as bad as folks think. You know, you might be looking at yield reductions of 1/10 of a bushel, 2/10 of a bushel per day. And that sounds bad, but thank God this is only going to last for 2, 3, 4 days.
So if it was like a couple of weeks like this, we were going to really see some issues.
Correct.
So what's going on in this soybean plant right now? What's keeping it alive and what's it fighting?
Yeah, so Katie, we'll talk a little bit about specifically why hot temperatures reduce soybean yields first. Hot temperatures reduce soybean yields because they're a C3 species.
Okay, and what does C3 species
mean? C3 means that the rubisco enzyme is exposed to the open air, okay? And why that's a bad thing in hot temperatures is rubisco is the enzyme that takes in carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and turns it into sugar, okay? And that's a great thing because sugar ends up turning into yield, right? So when it's hot out, that enzyme starts using more oxygen instead of carbon dioxide or CO2 or carbon in general, right?
And it can't make the sugars.
And it can't make the sugars as efficiently. So rubisco becomes less efficient at hot temperatures.
Okay.
And so therefore you accumulate less carbon and sugar, and therefore you don't have as much yield.
Okay, but we're talking maybe a week here. So.
Yep, that's right.
Okay. So we got a cornfield behind us, Jake. We know it's a C4 plant. Do you want to tell the folks the difference?
Yeah, so we talked about C3 species and that a really, really important enzyme is exposed to the free atmosphere. And corn's smart, I guess. So corn puts that rubisco enzyme in a specialized chamber, and the plant literally pumps carbon dioxide around rubisco, surrounds it in rubisco, so it doesn't have this problem with running less efficiently using oxygen instead of carbon dioxide. And that's a great thing.
But corn is different because at night it goes through respiration when it gets hot.
Correct.
So tell the folks at home what respiration means and what the plant has to go through overnight.
So the key reason why corn yields are reduced when we have hot temperatures is because they have to repair themselves at night, okay? So just like the belt in your tractor, just like the belt in your pickup, leaves and cells wear out over time. So the faster they're running, the faster they need to be repaired, and when it's really hot, they're running real fast, okay? So at night, that's when all the repair happens. The cells get repaired, the proteins get denatured in very hot temperatures, they get repaired, and that all takes a lot of energy. So the more damage that was done during the day, the more repair that has to happen at night. And if it's hot out at night in particular, that just means that's a really inefficient process.
It's still trying to repair itself, but it's too hot to do that.
Correct. Efficiently, yes.
So what about leaf rolling? Is that causing damage to these cells?
No, leaf rolling really doesn't cause damage to cells per se, but there's really one more important thing we need to talk about soybean or corn in particular. It's GDU accumulation. We all know that corn operates based on GDU accumulation, and the more GDUs we compile, the faster it matures, right? So the other problem in corn is when we experience very warm temperatures, it's racing toward maturity. And that may seem like a good thing, but the faster you're racing towards maturity, the less time you have to accumulate sunlight, fix carbon, produce sugar, and turn that into grain.
And so a different way of saying that is you don't want to race to the finish line because you need to be able to slow down and pack those kernels full of yield and
Absolutely.
test weight. And
This is one of those instances where slow and steady really does win the race.
well, that's good to know, Jake. Anything else you'd like to share with the folks?
I think we've said a lot today,
Well, I
Katie.
think it's time to go repair our Rubisco with our families in the pool the rest of the
There
afternoon.
you go.
Would that work for you?
I love that idea.
Okay,
That's a
I
good
hope
idea.
that's not, I don't even know if that's the right term. Hope all of you are able to repair your Rubisco tonight as well and jump into a pond or lake or river or pool, whatever you've got. Stay cool, folks.
Glad to be back in the pool, staying cool.
Stay in the know with Liqui-Grow.